Hello guys, welcome to a new episode. Today we're gonna talk about harmonics on bass guitar, and we're gonna use a tune that I think is really good for you if you want to study harmonics, which is Portrait of Tracy by Jaco Pastorius. So today we're gonna study this tune a little bit. We're gonna look at all the different kinds of chords that Jaco plays in this tune using the harmonics. And but first we're gonna just do a crash course on harmonics, where you can find them, a little bit how you can memorize them, just quickly, so we'll make it easier for us to study the tune itself. Right, so we're going to talk about harmonics per each string. So we're going to start off with the G, we're going to just talk about on the G string, because and the same thing applies to other strings. So when we play a G string, harmonics on the G string, we need to be aware that we're playing the harmonic or overtone series of the G note, which means that certain notes are going to be a little bit sounding a little bit off, but in reality that's the true sound of those notes, because we have an equal temperament system where all notes are divided equally, so we can fit 12 notes in one octave. But in reality, those notes are actually a little bit off, and you'll see just in a sec what I mean. So first thing, on the G, we're gonna try to find all the G harmonics. So we're playing open G. Our first one on the 12th fret, straight above. That's our first G. Our next, an octave higher, is a G right above the 5th fret here. And the last one, that one is a bit harder to play. It doesn't sound so loud as well. It's slightly above the 2nd fret. Maybe I would say third of the way to the 3rd fret. Right? So these are our 3 G notes on the G string, G harmonic notes. Next, the 5th. Our first 5th will be on the straight above the 7th fret here. You probably know this one from trying to tune your bass, right? And next one will be here, slightly above the 3rd fret here. Also a bit octave higher. Right, so those were the G and the D notes. Then we're gonna look at our B. So just in case, we're talking about G because that's the root. The 5th is the 2nd note in the harmonic series. So the 5th here, the D, is an important note. The B, which is the 3rd, is here on the 9th fret. And another one slightly below the 4th fret here on the G string. So it's good to think in intervals, so you know just on the string itself, on the harmonic series, what you're talking about. But eventually you want to learn the names of these so you can use them in a chord as well. That is not just G. Right? B here, like I said. And then we're going to look into the minor 7th, which is the note that is probably, I think, the most off compared to our system. Is this F here. It's actually like 31 cents below the lower than what we think is an F. It's either here or here, slightly, so either slightly below 6th fret or slightly below 3rd fret. So moving to the left, right? To the left. And then the last note we're going to look into is the 9th, or the 2nd, A, and that's pretty much on the 2nd fret, a little bit above it. So we got the G notes, then the D notes, the 5ths, the 3rds, the minor 7, and the 2nd or the 9th, all the way up there. All right, so and it looks the same when you play it on any other string, right? So there will be different names for the notes. So you should learn these. Like first, the shape helps, but then you should really learn the names of these, because then you can actually use them and play in a chord however you want, right? So yeah, let's check out Portrait of Tracy now. And we refreshed a little bit of harmonics knowledge. That's the first line of the notes. I'm not gonna dive too deep which are the names of the notes, because there's many notes, but it's basically you have all these notes that we were just talking about. So okay, so the opening line was that. Now and already here we had 4 different chords, more or less. This one is a C in the bass, and we have a D and a B we play. This is a C major 7, sus2 chord, or C major 9. Like, you will see that we're playing chords. We're gonna be naming them, trying to name according to only the notes we're playing, but there are other notes in the chord that are not, we cannot play just because of the nature of the bass, because we have only 4 strings, and usually we just play 3 notes to a chord. So we can call it C major 7 with the 9. We move the whole thing just 1 string up on the G, and then we have a chord G major 7 9. Then we have this interesting one, and that's an E major 7 9. Now the interesting thing about this chord is we're using something called artificial harmonics, or fake harmonic, which is we're not using open string and then just putting our finger to play a harmonic, but we're basically shortening a string, making it a B harmonic series, and we play here on the 6th fret of the A string, and we are making this, we're a little bit below actually, but we're playing this, and we're playing this the 3rd then. So we're playing a D sharp, F sharp, B, and then E, which makes it a E major 7 9 chord. And then so we have, and then into probably my favorite chord on the bass, C major 7 with the 9. We play a 3rd E here. We play a C, and D and B here. It's just a beautiful chord. And then this section repeats, and instead of going into this chord, it goes to this chord, which is an E flat altered chord, because we have an E flat in the bass, we have a G on top, a G flat or F sharp, however you want to look at it, and we have a D flat, so we get this sound. It's a really cool one. I think Jaco plays it a lot as well, this one. So that's our first section. Then we move to the second section. It starts off like this. These are a little bit more harder to play. So we start off A flat minor 11, just all fourth, just all on the 4th fret, or like up here if you want to look at it. A flat minor 11 or G sharp minor 11. And then this, which is basically with the G, so it's a G6 9 chord. We have a G, E, A, G, B, G, B, E, A, yeah, like this. And then so after this G, we have this D A here, played each note is doubled, and we put an F sharp here and a B on top. So we basically get like a D6 chord with a F sharp in the bass, so it's like an inversion. And then the bass, all the notes still ring, and just the bass moves to F, and you get like a D minor with an F in the bass. So you're moving from this sound to this sound into an which is here an E major, E dominant with a 9 and a 13. So we get we have a D here, an F sharp, a C sharp, G sharp, and a B. So we have the whole 4 notes of the E7, but we also have the 9 and the 13. So that's a beautiful one as well. Okay. After this, there's this part. Which is just playing around with many notes. It's basically like playing around B minor sound. So you could say it's a form of a B minor chord. It's a really cool part. And after that, we move into this section, which goes like this. And it's basically the same 2 notes, D and A, doubled, moving from, and the bass is moving C, B to B flat, back to B, just chromatically. So if we put these notes like this maybe, and look at it, we get like a C6-9, then we get a B minor 7, B flat major 7, back to B minor 7. All this with just 2 harmonics here, and just the movement in the bass. After that, this section changes a little bit. He adds some more color. So basically we play a chord, also really nice one, C major triad with a 9 as well, into this, a B minor 7 with a 9, beautiful, into the B flat major 7 from before, and this moving to E flat major 7 with then with the sharp 11 and the 3rd. So we get the G, the D, and the A. So we get the 3rd, major 7th, and the sharp 11. So going from into this, which would be first inversion of a major triad. So you can look at it C flat major triad with the E flat in the bass, or B major triad with the D sharp in the bass, however you want to look at it. This sound. And after that we got this kind of final section, which is this. And this just loops. And we get this from A flat to G, the bass note, and the top harmonics here are from D to an F sharp and an F, and this F is super flat and it gives really this big dissonance sound to it. It's really cool. So it's like an A flat dominant sharp 11 with a 13 into G major triad, into G like a major 7 with a 9, into G major G with a 9 and sharp 11, and into G with a major 7 and a 5. So it's just different ways of playing around G major 7, sharp 11, 9. But it's really colorful. And then this section I think repeats 3 times and or 4 times, and the last time it goes into our very first chord, C major 9, C major 7 with the 9, the same with the G, and then it goes into this, which is really hard to play correctly. A is doubled in the harmonics. I mean, it's an octave apart, but in B flat in the bass, which gives us like a B flat major 7 chord, and then we play the same shape in F here, and the A still rings on top, so we get the F major 7 with the major 7 and the major 3rd. So like this. It's a beautiful chord as well. That's like our kind of final section. Then it comes back to the beginning. Repeats this into this E flat altered chord, E flat dominant, and then our final chord. That is just amazing as well, and how on the record he makes it sound so strong, these harmonics. I'm not sure how he does it, but it's basically making false harmonics again by pressing here on the 9th fret. The bass is open E, he presses here, and then pinky is just above the 13th fret of the A, D and G string. So like this, and you get these notes. You get A sharp, D sharp, G sharp, and E in the bass, which makes it an E major 7 chord. It sounds really beautiful. It's the last chord. So those were pretty much all the chords that are in the portrait of Tracy. So you see there is just so many of them, and one thing is, yeah, you should definitely, like, if you want to study more about harmonics, you should study them more like this, and like just learn all these chords, learn the names of the harmonics. But one cool thing is also, you just take the harmonics without the bass note and then change the bass note into whatever bass note you want, and see what do you come up with, what is the chord. For example, this E flat altered, I think it sounds really cool if I, instead of E flat in the bass, I play A, and I get A dominant with a 13. That sounds really cool. Or for example, this C major here, what if I put F in the bass? You know, what notes do I get out? I get the major 7, I get a 13, I get a 9, you know. Sounds cool. F sharp sounds really interesting as well. You get some tension notes there between F sharp and G. So it's all up to you just to explore. Now, harmonics is something that you're probably not going to play on your gig unless you play solo bass gig, in which case that's great for you. But if you're going to play too much harmonics, you're going to get some bad looks from the band. But the thing is, it's just a really cool way to explore your instrument. It's very inspiring, at least for me. You get, you learn about different chord voicings. You find out about different sounds, and it can inspire you to write new songs. And it's just a really fun thing to do, I think. And yeah, so take this with you and try to study it, learn from it. Just exploring is super important. And yeah, if you have any more questions, which is quite possibly you do, since that was pretty fast, although still the video is pretty long. Yeah, write any questions in the comment section. If you want, write me an email and I can maybe get you a PDF with all this stuff written for you. If you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for more, and I'll see you next time.